I don't know.
His bag
He
is.
might be.
He's gonna come back. Yes, I asked if they could come back for executive session, him and the chief.
Yeah.
Okay.
This should take.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Sit down,
Should be.
Mr.
We're good.
Montello.
We're running, we're good.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Are we good there?
We're good.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular council meeting of Tuesday, December 20th at 2022 at 8:26. We are starting the meeting a little later. Any residents watching or anybody else watching, we did have a finance meeting that started at 6:30 before this meeting, but it was a very important meeting because there is things that we did talk about. There is temporary appropriations. Council has been reviewing the budget, and there was temporary appropriations we talked about in a finance meeting last time, but Report 52 wasn't done at that time, and they wanted a complete report, which is the right thing, and a clearer picture. So we did run over almost a couple hours, but I think it was the right thing to do. We went through a lot of things here. So with that, first order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Yes, I do. I'm waiting just for everybody to sit down here. I'd like to take a moment of silence for our deceased residents: Robert Slifka, Janice Loretta, Thomas Perchinsky, and Duke Owens. Just like to make a point, Duke Owens, one of our residents, served on the zoning board and was also, for a very long time, very active in the community, and just kind of wanted to make that point there. So if we can have a moment of silence for that, and also for all the people in the Ukraine. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, any persons having business before council? Yes, Mr. Nowicki.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, did I miss roll call?
You missed roll call.
Hey, God, stop. Okay. Go ahead, Angela, I'm sorry.
Councilman Nielsen?
Here.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Here.
Councilwoman Allen? Here. Councilman Whedon?
Here.
Councilman Spitznagel?
Here.
All council present, along with myself, the mayor, our fiscal officer, Angela Rive. I also do have the law solicitor, John Montello, here, our street commissioner, Robert Kelman, our police chief, Stan Jaworski, I think that's who that got it right. And we do have our assistant fiscal officer here in the audience too, Nicole Sell, did I say it right, Nicole? Okay. Now, any persons having business before council? And for any residents watching tonight, we can answer in between things too, if anybody has some questions. Go ahead, Tom.
Tom Nowicki, 17612 Egbert Road. I heard this from a source, so I thought I'd ask you straight up. Is Oakwood Dispatch leaving Walton Hils Dispatch?
We're in discussions right now. So we're having an executive session to talk about dispatching a little bit. But there is a good possibility, yes, that will happen, but it will be after the first of the year,
Okay.
even further into that.
And with that, the amount of money we could possibly lose for the year? Or what, Angela probably knows, what did we get paid out of Oakwood Dispatch last year?
We get 160,000 a year, so each year there's a 2% increase on our contracts for both fire and dispatch out. But about 160,000 is what we'll take in for this year.
Yeah, so that'd be a pretty big hit.
Well,
Now, when you factor in what we're paying in salaries and benefits to staff for
Yeah.
that.
yeah, so that, well, let me comment to that. Go ahead, Tom, finish
And,
your
no, I'm
statement.
jumping ahead because you're gonna be talking and all that stuff and.
No, but you're
there'll be
fine, no,
more-
because I'm gonna comment, like Angela said, we received that, but part of that contract is we have to keep so many dispatchers here.
Right.
And as Angela said, between, the benefits and the payroll, so.
And with your discussions or however that's gonna go along.
Right.
There'll be more talk about it. I want to know if it was true. And then with that, with your talks, you will discuss how that affects things. And I'm sure you'll bring up more things later on in other council meetings. I mean, because, it's not a done deal, then your reactions are not, you don't react yet. You wait, if there's any reactions needed and all that. So I just wanted to know if somebody was pulling my leg or not. So, okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions from anybody here or anybody that's watching? Okay. I had to do the mayor's report. All right, so what I have here, I have the mayor's court revenue for the month of, yeah, I can do that. Mayor's court revenue for the month of November 2022. Total revenue for November was $12,005.01. How do you like them numbers? 1 penny. Okay. Year-to-date is $158,688.74. And that is down from last year-to-date, which was $249,068.14. Okay. Move on to the police department report for the month of November. The Walton Hills Police Department issued 136 citations in the month of November. The predominant violation was expired plates with 38 citations issued, followed by 19 citations issued for driving under suspension and 16 citations issued for driving. Oh, it's issued the same here. I'll have to look at that, Stan. So we had 136 citations in the month of November. The predominant violation of expired plates with 38, followed by 19 citations for driving under suspension, and then 16 would be, got the same thing written there, so that's okay. We had 2 arrests for driving while under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Might have been an error there, so I'll ask Nancy about that. Big deal. Anybody have anything from council? Council comments, item 7? Am I too loud?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Jennifer.
I just received a letter, and I'll share it with Angela. It's in regards to the tax department from some residents. If we can just get that handled as quickly as possible, I'll share it with you afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's all.
Okay. Any other comments from council? Okay, we'll move on to the legislation. Okay, we have ordinance 2022-13. That is the draft tip, or another name for that is the Forward Innovation East project.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Nielsen,
Yes, I'd like to introduce that.
for suspension?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, instead of going through them all, why don't we just go through them? Everybody good with that?
Yeah, with Mayor Colgrove?
Yes.
As it relates to Smith and Obie, 2022-15, I introduced that first reading, and I would like to introduce that for suspension.
Okay, well, why don't we just go through them and then,
That's what
yeah.
I recommend.
Okay, no, let's just, might as well just go through them and pass them at the same time. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you want to have we can have discussion
No,
before
we
each
don't
one.
need discussion. Let's
All
just
right.
roll with
Mr.
it.
Mayor,
Okay,
we're missing pages.
Oh, are you? Sorry.
Yeah, that I was actually looking for the Smith and Obie legislation, and as far as the TIF, the description is not in our packet. We've got,
I gotcha.
13, 14, I'm not, no, not in there.
You want,
There, 2013's in there, 14's in there.
So you're
15
missing
is
the
missing
Smith and
For the
Obie?
wording for
the
the,
wording, just
Yeah.
to read the wording. That was,
Oh, I see what you're
because
saying.
the pages that go, we- 2016, and, the Rita is also
Yeah, and I
missing
don't
too.
know, I wonder if it posted like that online, because I printed out exactly what I sent you guys, so it wouldn't have been in your email either. All right, John, if you have it handy, if you don't mind. You've got everything but 15, right?
Oh, no, we don't have
19.
29, and we don't
Or
have
29.
15. So,
15 and
Raymond would
29.
need 15 if he's gonna do Smith and Obie.
let me just give you.
29, I just gave you guys updated copies, so you have that. Because I had an extra 9 in the, so 29 is what I just handed out to you during the finance meeting.
this one you just.
Okay, she just
Angela?
sent it to David too. All right, you got 29.
Mine is complete too, yeah, you got the same, thanks, Rob.
All
That's,
right.
that's, which one is that?
Right, so they just got the ordinance for the temporary appropriations, because I passed out a new one.
Well,
So then
here's
they're- so
last-
then they might
here's
be missing
last week's.
29
15.
is the readable.
The only one that's missing then is the
Oh, you're-
15, which is the Smith and Obie.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about resolution, not ordinance.
Right.
Here's-
resolution.
Okay, here,
Here's last week's.
Yes, and this
I
one,
can-
Angela's,
okay, figured it.
yeah, that's,
I have a copy of 14 and 15.
So you
Yes.
do, See,
Oh,
then it
I
wasn't the
have
print, it was the
13,
copy.
Oh.
14.
Okay,
I'm missing 15 and 29.
you guys could proceed, I'll go and grab those.
I don't
Well,
have,
who wants, do you
I
have,
don't have
Fred, do you have 22-13?
Dash 13, yes, I do.
Okay,
That's the one, that's
the draw.
the draw.
we'll wait a couple minutes for Angela to make a copy then.
Yeah, because it was not in order from last, at the last meeting.
I don't think any of them are correct.
If you have last week's, it's all correct.
No, there's, I put that together.
If you have last week's, it's all correct.
Well, then I'll look through
So
there.
she can make a copy of mine.
I have last week's here if you need.
All right, I might borrow you from next
Do
week.
you
I
want-
might read something. Okay. Well, then she shouldn't go bother, but it was, I'm looking through
Yeah,
here.
'cause it's all,
It's all
they're
discombobulated.
numbered different. So they are, this is not from last week.
That's from last week.
Yeah, it's not,
That's November. That's why.
the first reading.
She's got it, she's making it, we're good.
Okay,
You'll have them in a second. If you don't have last week's.
that's why the numbers are different.
Yeah, that was first.
I got another Amber one.
This is it, though. This. I've been getting them all night.
Yeah,
I know.
you've got that one, that's
Yeah.
one.
That
That
sucks,
one's in-
doesn't it?
Snatched that from the, I
Yeah.
introduced it.
What's that?
I said, you snatched that from me, I introduced it.
He jumped in, he pushed you aside. And there's 2014, MPK.
No, I'm gonna sign them tonight, I wanna get them over to Bill and Matt sent me probably what you got. Plugging us for 'em, so that's a good thing. So our streaming went good tonight, that's a good thing,
Mhm.
happy about that.
Is anybody on? Two?
One of them's me.
One of them's you?
The other one's Kathy.
No, she went to see It's a Wonderful Life. They were showing it in the theater.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the original.
I've never seen that.
You never saw that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my gosh, it's on all the
No,
time.
I know, I just never, I always catch it like.
Jimmy Stewart.
Partway
Yeah.
through, so I've never sat down and actually.
One of the
watched.
greatest actors of all time.
Yeah,
Jimmy Stewart.
yeah.
I love watching those old, there's something that heartwarming about the old movies, you know? We have that channel that does all the
TCM.
classic, is
Turner
that what it is,
Classic Movies
TCM?
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Everybody ready for Christmas? How did Santa delivery go, ladies?
Wonderful.
Was the grandson happy to see Santa?
I was glad our neighbor chatted me about the tree. He's just walking the dog and,
I was surprised how many people asked me, who's Santa Claus? And I said, that's Don.
It's Santa Claus.
It's Santa Claus. Say, that's all it is. And
Santa
the official meeting, it was Santa Claus.
I hope I don't ruin it for the one person that's watching.
5-year-old out there.
It's like when the kids were young, Daniel was young, and he goes, Mrs. Claus, that looks like, it's, no, that's Mrs. Claus. And he said, no, that's Mrs. No, it's Mrs. Claus.
The boys are the worst. They always have to.
Yeah.
I told Don last night, Johnny was about 5 and we were having a Citizens League Christmas party and my dad dressed as Santa. And I said, go over and say hi to Santa. And Johnny's like, that's not Santa. That's Grandpa. I'm like, no, it's not. Go say, no, that's Grandpa. I'm like, no, it's not. Now go over there before you get in trouble with Santa. He's like, yeah, well, where's Grandpa at? And he's thank you. Gone.
well, Mike told me he knew it was his dad because he looked at his hand and he saw his father's wedding ring. And he goes, I knew right away it was my father because I knew it was his hand.
Actually, my dad just told me when we were talking about that story that Johnny told him, I saw your wedding ring, Grandpa. I know you were
That's all
Santa.
that gives it away.
Supposed to wear gloves.
Yeah, that's right, Santa.
14 years for myself.
All right.
14 years, 3 with Mr.
We haven't done
Selinsky,
anything.
3 with Larry Linville, 2 with Joe Morgan. Then the rest were 14 years. Yeah. And she's got me down for 23 and 24. What do you think about that, Stan? Oh, my God. I don't know if the
Well, I
old,
expect this.
I don't know if the old
coming
man's
down
gonna
my
make it.
chimney.
Mr. Mayor?
okay. We ready?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to second Mr. Nielsen's
Well, why don't you
suspension.
want to do it? Just, we'll start, why don't we start over? Just so it gets all clear. We're on legislation. Item A, ordinance 2022-13, the DROF TIF, which is another name. DROF stands for Forward Backwards, or else it's also known as the Forward Innovation East. Can I get a motion for that?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce
For
ordinance
suspension.
number 2022-13, declaring the improvement of certain real property located in the village of Walton, Cuyahoga County, Ohio to be a public purpose, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, designating specific public infrastructure improvements that once made will directly benefit the parcels for which improvement is declared to be a public purpose, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund, authorizing compensation payments to the Bedford City School District, and providing related authorizations pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5709.40B, 5709.42, 5709.43, 5709.832, and 5709.85.
Is that for suspension? Because you didn't say,
That's, I'm sorry, and that's for suspension.
Second.
is that, okay, John?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Vote for suspension passed.
Mr. Mayor.
Is there a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to ask for adoption of ordinance number 2022-13.
Second.
Second.
Sorry, Jennifer beat you. You're like the
That's
echo,
fine.
Mary.
I was sleeping.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes,
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-13, the draft tip for suspension passed, 5-0. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I'd like to make a motion for suspension for ordinance number 2022-14, declaring the improvement of certain real property located in the village of Walton Hills, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, to be a public purpose, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, designating specific property infrastructure improvements that, once made, will directly benefit the parcels for which improvements is declared to be a public purpose, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund, and authorizing compensation payments to the Bedford City School District, and providing related authorizations pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5709.40B, 5709.42, 5709.43, 5709.832, and 5709.85.
is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of ordinance number 2022-14.
Is there a second?
Second. Oh, very good.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Okay, suspension and adoption both passed, 5-0. Thank you, council. Item C, ordinance 2022-15.
Mayor Colgraf and members of council, I'm introducing ordinance number 2022-15 for suspension. An ordinance declaring the improvement of certain real property located in the village of Walton Hills, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, to be a public purpose, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, designating specific public infrastructure improvement that once made will directly benefit the parcels for which improvement is declared to be a public purpose, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund, authorizing compensation payments to the Bedford City School District, and providing related authorizations pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5709.40B, 5709.42, 5709.43, 5709.832, and 5709.85.
Second.
Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Mayor Colgraf, members of council, I'd like to ask for adoption of ordinance number 2022-15.
Second.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Okay, adoption passed. And suspension passed, 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Item D, ordinance 2022-16, temporary appropriations for 2023.
Mr. Mayor,
Mary Brenner Miller.
I'd like to introduce for suspension ordinance 2022-16, an ordinance to make temporary appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the village of Walton Hills, state of Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, and ending March 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second by Jennifer Allen. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Suspension passed, 5-0.
Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask for adoption of ordinance number 2022-16.
Second.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'm going to vote for this. I want it on the record that this ordinance does have in it a COLA increase for contracted employees. Of course, the contracted employees get an increase per their contract. I'd like it on the record that I am for giving the employees the COLA increase, spending those dollars for that effective January 1, 2023.
Second.
Agreed.
Vote on the suspension.
We did this assumption.
We did do
We
oh,
didn't vote,
adoption.
we didn't do
We
the
need to vote on the adoption. Right.
You voted, you passed the suspension, and you made a thing, vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller,
Before I say yes, I want to second what Mr. Spitznagel said. I most definitely want the 2% to be given to the employees. And I look forward to seeing their survey. So I vote yes.
Councilwoman Allen. Mess me up, you guys stop.
Yes, and I also would like the increase to start as of first.
We're getting slapped. Councilman Whedon,
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Okay, suspension passed and adoption passed. Thank you, council. Item E, resolution 2022-29, reader rules and regulations. Have a
Mr.
motion?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to
Jennifer.
make a motion for suspension, resolution number 2022-29, a resolution adopting the Regional Income Tax Agency rules and regulations for administration of the income tax code for the Village of Walton Hills, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Councilman Nielsen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen,
Yes.
Councilman Whedon,
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Suspension passed, 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of resolution number 2022-29.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who am I taking? Fred? I'm taking Fred again.
Mr. Nielsen?
Okay, Councilman Nielsen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller.
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen.
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon.
Yes.
Okay, adoption passed. Okay, we have old and new business. Thank you, council, for those items. We have old and new business. The only thing I did want to, and we already touched base on it, so I'll be brief. We did have the Joint Economic Development meeting on December 15th, our yearly meeting, as Angela stated in the finance meeting. The JED will stay with the village. We'll go to Rita at this time. That's the only thing I really want to say there. Does anybody else have anything for old or new business?
If I may, Mayor, the Rita letters did go out directly from Rita to residents earlier this week. So in case you're getting any phone calls about that, they can certainly still, give a call, and I'll give them a call back. And what's going to happen is, because I delayed on fourth quarter estimates, there will be a disclaimer at the bottom of that to say that if you're going to send payment prior to January 1st, it can come to Village Hall. But if you're going to need to send it after January 1st, you'll send it directly to Rita.
And the rate, just to kind of, the rate doesn't change. It's just Rita's collecting it instead of the village collecting it. So there is no rate increase. I know that's what we all want to know. I want to know that. We all want to know that. That's the important thing. I know we talked about it quite a bit with the Rita. It's been out there, it was in the journal, but just to kind of say, I had a last minute text today asking why we did it, and my answer was simple. And just say it again in case anybody's watching. We left Rita because we felt we could do a better job in-house. They didn't have the resources at the time. They have built up their resources. They have more access. They have access to the federal records. So council and administration and the fiscal officer felt it was time to move back to Rita because we felt they could serve us better. And that's the bottom line. And the second question was, well, are we paying a lot more? And we don't feel that's the case either. So we think financially it's not a bad move, but also we feel we're going to probably collect more on the our business side, especially with the new expansion that's taken place, we certainly want to get the taxes that are owed to the village. So, in case somebody, so that's the thing, I'm sure we're all gonna feel a lot of calls in the next month or so. But I feel the same way council does. I think it was the right thing, the fiscal op, the right thing to do. Anybody else have anything for old or new business? The only other thing before we go into executive session, just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, and, you know, and a Happy New Year, and it's 2022 had its challenges too, you know, it's for all of us, as far as even just health-wise and stuff. I think the village fared well, and I think 2023 is going to be an exciting year for the village. With that said, we do have a motion to go into executive session here. If that motion is granted, we will come out, reconvene, and then adjourn the meeting. Is that correct, council? So there won't be any legislation or anything discussed at that time. People are welcome to stay if they like, otherwise, but just to let you know, there won't be any other business after executive session. We'll reconvene and then adjourn the meeting.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Jennifer?
After we vote to go into executive session, we will be stopping the live streaming also.
Yeah.
That
Since
is-
there will be no other business.
Good point. That is correct. So you actually won't see us adjourn either. If you want to see that, you can always come up and maybe get a tape. I don't know. It might not even be on that,
Or
so.
stick around 3 or
But
4
there is no,
hours.
there won't be any discussion. There won't be any bit. The only thing we're going to say is reconvene at a certain time and then adjourn and take a vote on adjourning. So, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matters regarding appointment, promotion, and/or compensation of all employees, including but not limited to part-time employee promotion to full-time. Council will also discuss pending, threatened, and/or imminent litigation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22.
Second.
Second by Mr. Spitznagel. Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go into